Good morning, everybody. And so target was hit yesterday, and that was at 4,900 on the SP 500. So at the moment we sort of hit the target, and let's just do that. We'll have a look on the lower time frames, but we did have two attempts at it, and it basically dropped off. Now, this to me is more profit taking. We do have GDP today, and we have payroll numbers as well. So no real big earnings. I think Visa is probably the biggest one today, but we are very much at a previous high, and this is this pin bar here at 48.68. So I'm just going to put the bottom of this range in that we were in for most of the start of this week. Oscillators are extremely overbought at the moment, so I'd watch this very carefully. This could be flipping to the downside as well. And if we just start drilling down through the time frames, if we start with a 3 hour, you'll see oscillators have eased off the top. They have started to separate, and you can see the separation starting already. So typically what happens in a scenario like this is not a sell-off, it's just profit taking. Such a in-your-face target that everybody that either took the range break or were in from sort of down the bottom here, they would have been aiming for that. As soon as we got through 47.50, then the next logical target is going to be the next round number, especially when you don't have any support or potential resistance to the left. So we are at all-time highs. That's another thing you need to keep in mind. And remember, the previous all-time high is over there. I'll get that to you now. So that previous all-time high sits down here at 48.22. So we do have a little bit of a pin bar here off structure, but then the current bar is not really playing ball at the moment. So as we get down to the hour, don't forget to hit the like button. You'll see this is a daily pin bar. If you don't believe me, have a look at that. You can see daily pin bar, a bit of a tail to the downside, so not entirely clean. But looking at the hour, look at the diversions here. Price is low, price is higher, oscillators are low, oscillators are lower. So that is bullish diversion. So I would be looking for opportunities to the upside in this zone. Just bearing in mind that you do have GDP coming out, and I can just add all these levels in. There's another pin bar there. So let's get down to the 15 minutes and I'll show you what I would be expecting today. So from our perspective, oscillators are lining up nicely. We're at a fairly decent level of potential support, and that is this zone that we're in here. So we start off at 48.68. It hasn't been tested properly. You can see the breaks below it. This level has been tested, which is 48.62. Then you have 48.58, and obviously all the way down to the downside you have 48.44. So that would be the bottom of the range. So this is the area that I'd be watching at the moment. Bit reluctant to jump in long in any of these areas at the moment. Going to add one more level in, which would convince me that we're going back up, and that would be a clear break of 48.75. So we could pull back to 48.50. If we do come back to 48.50, it's around here. Let's just put that in. And the only reason these round numbers are coming into play is because we don't really have any potential support left. We've built stuff over the last couple of days, but it's too fresh, if I put it that way. It's not, hasn't been there for a couple of years. And so this area here, you'd have a stop, it's a 100-point stop loss then just want to measure this quickly. It's 220 point stop loss. So the previous weekly high, he had 48.21. Don't think that's going to materialize, to be honest. I think we've come back to test the range, which is pretty decent price action. The big question now is which level here is the market going to see at the top of the range. So I do think that this 48.68, 48.62 and 48.58 is the most logical area, and then you've got 48.50. So yeah, that's kind of my view. I know on the 15 minutes it looks a little bit suspect with the cross of all the moving averages, but take your cue off the 1 hour. Pin bar off structure. Oscillators separated and to the downside. Diversions. Everything here is indicating that we're looking for another attempt to the upside. And remember, V reversals are rare, so you would expect another attempt at 4,900. Once we clear 4,900, I can pretty much guarantee you 5,000 is on the cards. So yeah, that's kind of my view for today. You see the break of 48.75 does clear this pin bar. So from an hour perspective, probably just put an alert in here so you can see what's going to happen. But then you get a green bar, hourly bar that's up there, or a bar that closes up above that pin bar. That's your cue. That's your long entry. Your stop is below the bar. So it's quite a big stop loss. But then your risk to reward is going to be somewhere in the region of 200 point risk to 260 point gain. So a little bit better than 1-to-1. But if you watch this on the 15 minutes, you'll see a half decent entry here where you'll be able to put in a tighter stop. So that's kind of my view at the moment. Bear in mind that you could go sideways until the GDP number is out as well. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Anyway, hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers for now.